Hello everyone. I'm going to explain about linear program, which is one of analytic methods. Sometimes linear programs are called LP. In this lecture, we'll learn what LP is, what is important in business and operations, and how to formulate LP problems mathematically. The main focus of this lecture is not solving with advanced software yet, but understanding the logic behind LP models and how to translate real business problems into mathematical expressions. So this is really widely used analytics in business practices. So if you learned linear program, then you will see it. These lectures really useful, and linear program can be utilized in your future workplaces. So by the end of this lesson, you should understand the meaning of linear programming and why it is useful. You should also recognize the two major parts of any LP problems, formulation and solving. In addition, you should be able to identify decision variables, objective functions, and constraints, and use them to formulate LP models from rolled problems or described problems. First, linear programming does not mean computer programming. Here's the word programming means choosing a course of action. LP helps managers make the best decision when resources are limited and the relationship in the problem are linear. In many business situations, such as labor, raw materials, or budgets, resources are scarce, which means very limited. LP provides a systematic way to allocate those limited resources efficiently. In every linear program problem, we try to either maximize or minimize some objectives, such as maximizing profit or minimizing cost or maximizing output. At the same time, we must satisfy all constraints, which represent resource limits or business rules. A feasible solution is any solution that satisfies all constraints. An optimal solution is the feasible solution that gives the best object value. When we have only two decision variables, we can often solve the LP problem graphically. Every LP problem involves two major parts. First, part of formulation, which means converting the written problem statement into mathematical model. The second part is solving the model using an LP method. In other words, we first build the model carefully, and then we solve it. There are a bunch of software, but we are going to use Excel. Excel is a really powerful application, and once we add one, then we can use Excel to do LP programming. If the model is formulated incorrectly, even the best solution method will not produce a useful answer. Okay, so problem formulation is a process that's translating a verbal business problem into mathematical language. This is one of the most important skills in LP, although each LP problem is unique. The formulation process usually follows several common steps. We need to understand the problem thoroughly, identify the objective, identify constraints, define the decision variables, and then write the object and constraints in mathematical form. So this slide shows a general structure of an LP model. At the top, we have object, we have object function, which may the which may be maximization or minimization expression. Then we list constraints. We need to list constraints, which limit the values of decision variables. First, finally we include non-negative constraints, which mean the decision variable cannot be negative or well, you may have some other constraints. It could be cannot be positive. So we need to add two different constraints. Okay. In the most business applications, negative quantity would not make practical senses. So, for instance, if x1 and x2 are number of subunits, x1 and x2 can't be a negative number. It must be greater than zero or at least zero. So this is why we may need to check out non-negative constraints. Okay, when following with the LP problem, we follow a step-by-step process. First, identify the distant variables. Second, define the object as either maximization or minimization. Third, identify the constraints in the problem. Fourth, convert those constraints into equations or inequalities. The left-hand side usually shows resource usages, while the right side shows resource availability. So here's the example. This left side shows resource usage, and this right side shows availability. Okay. Finally, add on non-negativity constraints to make sure all decision variables are zero or greater. Okay. One common application of LP is the production and product mix problem. So most of the examples of productions. So you have to yield the best output under the limited resources. This is the most common example of LP. In this situation, a manufacturer must decide how much of each product to make. The goal is usually to satisfy demand while either minimizing costs or maximizing profits. LP helps determine the best production schedule by considering capacity, inventory demand, and available resources. In this example, Cycle Trains produces two bicycle frames, Deluxe, Professional. Okay, Deluxe and Professional. Each frame requires different amount of aluminum and steel. Each gives different profits. So Deluxe yield $10 profit and I'm sorry, well, Deluxe $10 profit and Professional produce $15 profits. Okay. And the supplier provides only the limited amount each allowed each week. So the problem is to decide how many units of each frame to produce weekly in order to maximize total profit while staying within the available material limit. Okay. The first step is identify distant variable. Let x1 be the number of deluxe frame and x2 be the number of professional frames produced weekly. Next, we define objectives. Since the company wants to maximize profit, the object function is max z equals 10 times x1 and 15 times x2. So here's max z. Notice each coefficient represent the unit profits for each frame type. Then, now we formulate the constraints. Its deluxe frame uses 2 pounds of aluminum and 3 pounds steel. And this professional frame uses 4 pounds of aluminum and 2 pounds of steel, right? Since aluminum is limited to 100 pounds and the steel is limited to 80 pounds, the constraint becomes x 2 times x1 plus 4 times x2 less than or equal to 100 pounds. So we have 100 pounds weekly. We have to produce aluminum frame, a deluxe frame, and professional frame must be less than or greater, same 200 pounds to maximize our profits. And here's a constraint about steel. And 3 times 1x plus 2 times 2x must be less than 80 or same to 80. So this is why I'm saying it's better to list availability at the right side and constraint equation at the left side. This slide shows the complete LP model of example 1. We define distant variables as x and x2. We also stated object function, which is max z, $10, which is profit times x1 plus $15 profit times x2. We can maximize our profit under these constraints. Okay, and then we define distant variables stated with object function, list 2 resource constraints, and include non-negativity. The reason is the number of units of deluxe frames and professional frames cannot be negative numbers, which means it must be greater than or same to 0. And this is final mathematical form of the original word problem. The second example is a media selection problem. The marketing manager wants to allocate a limited advertising budget among the several media options. The goal is to maximize audience reach while satisfying budget restrictions and other business rules. This is another classic LP application because the manager must make best use of limited resources. In this example, the advertising options are television, radio, newspaper. Each medium has the different audience size per ad, a different cost per ad, and a maximum use limit. There are also additional policy constraints. For example, radio ads cannot exceed 50% of all ads. The television must count for at least 10% of the total. The total budget is limited to $18,200. The question is how many ads should be run in each medium to maximize audience contact? So what you have to do, you have to understand the description, and then you have to formulate into mathematical form. So we begin from the LP problem. We define x1, x2, and x3 as the number of ads for TV, radio, and newspaper, respectively. The object is maximize audience contact. So object function is 100,000 times x1 plus 18,000 times x2 and 40,000 times x3. Then we write constraints. One for budget, 3 for maximizing media unit. So we have a budget limit and 3 maximum on radio constraint and radio constraint. So you have to set up constraints one by one. Then we can add non-negativity constraints. This slide, well, this page summarizes the complete LP model for media selection problem. It includes the object function, the budget constraints, individual usage, radio balance requirements, and the TV requirements. At this point, the verbal problem has written fully translated into a mathematical LP model that can now be solved. We have non-negativity constraints. So I'm going to show how to practice LP with Excel after this explanation in a slide or video. The third example is transportation problem. In this type of problem, a company must decide how much product to ship from its source to its destination. The main objective is usually to minimize total transportation cost while meeting customer demands and not exceeding supply capacity. Transportation problems are one of the most important and practical applications of linear program. So unlike the previous two examples, you have to minimize something. So in this case, the company has two plants, one in Kansas City and one in Louisville. In Louisville, the three warehouse destinations, its plant has a limited production capacity and its warehouse has a certain demand. Shipping costs differ depending on the route. The distance is how many units to ship from each plant to its warehouse so that all demand is satisfied at the minimum total transportation cost. To formulate the problem, we define six distinct variables, each one for shipping route from plant to warehouse. The object function minimizes total shipping cost by multiplying each route shipment quantity by its unit transportation cost. Then we write two capacity constraints here. One for each plant and three demand constraints, one for each warehouse. Lastly, we add non-negativity constraints for all shipping variables. So this slides, finally, this slide presents the full LP model for the transportation problem. It includes six distinct variables, the minimization object function, the two plant capacity constraints, the three warehouse demand constraints, and the non-negativity constraints. This is the final mathematical model that will be used to determine the least cost shipping schedule. So this is about LP or linear programming, or sometimes it is called linear program. So, well, I will see you guys in the next video clip.